Hi. Hi. Hi guys, you able to hear me? Good evening. May I know who is this? Nicandro? Newly joined for the session? Nicandro. The new joining. Okay. I think you missed past 2 classes. Okay, alright, fine. Guys, the yesterday's topic I'll be going to continue. To the Settle conference. OAGA bundle lifecycle. Today we have to see the OAGA bundle lifecycle. Yeah, Varinder, can you unmute yourself? Varinder?
Yes, Harinath.
Yeah, where we deploy the OAGA bundles in CQ?
Sorry?
Where we deploy the CQ bundles, is OAGA bundles in CQ server?
So I can explain before briefing, right?
Yeah, should I explain? That's the reason I'm asking the question, right?
Yeah. So basically, this is a bundle like OS is a container, right?
Of course, that is correct. In CQ,
So,
where we deploy the bundles? More than 15 minutes, 15 minutes I explained, I guess.
I think it's a system console, right?
Yeah. What is the name of that system class console? And also there is alternate name for it, right?
Yes. JCR?
Is it the name of the console?
Sorry?
Is it the name of the console? You mean to say?
Yeah.
It's completely different, right? It's the storage part was where you store the thing. Hmm? Can you tell me the console name? I mentioned a lot more times. I mentioned lot more times. I explained. Just revise the video yesterday's session. You will get to know. Even I have written in the chart also the name. You might forget like.
I think so,
But sure, guys, definitely I'll ask the questions, whatever it is. Okay, that is the Felix console. I'm opening the Felix console.
yes, I said Apache Crx console, right? I said it.
That's what, right? I asked.
Yeah, sorry. I said Apache
Yeah,
console.
this is Felix console where we deploy the OSJ bundle. The URL for that is system/console. Automatically will be redirected to /bundles. Yeah, thanks, Varinder. Thank you. Can you unmute? Sorry, can you mute yourself so that.
So I have a question. Can you explain like a Apache framework and later?
Apache framework. Apache
Yeah.
framework you want?
Sorry? Oh, sorry, not Apache. OSGI framework.
Yeah, OSJ. Yesterday I started and I explained few topics in OSJ. Today I will be going to explain OSJ lifecycle, right?
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the console where we deploy the OSJ bundles, guys. Also I explained how to check the number of bundles deployed. Here you get entire container information, means in your OAJ container, in your CQ server, how many bundles are there currently? 424. In that, how many active fragments, and how many bundles installed, means in installed mode. In fragment mode means not installed successfully. And bundles which are active. This is the bundle information, how they are deployed, means which are active, which are inactive, which are fragments, and installed mode. Okay. Yesterday I have explained you about OAJ framework. What is OAJ? What is the OAJ framework? Whether it is a open source or it is a paid, and also explain you guys. And what is OAJ container? What are the services provided by the OAJ container? Like security, lifecycle, service registration, and services. These are the services which are provided by the OAJ container. Apart from that, each OAJ bundle will have its own lifecycle. OAJ container will contain this is OAJ container, which provides executional services and lifecycle services. These all are the bundles, OAJ bundles. These all are the OAJ bundles. What is OAJ container? A container which provides lifecycle services, registration services, means registering the services, and security and communication between the bundles, and executional environment to execute the bundles. For example, I think you might be aware about Tomcat container. Tomcat container. What is Tomcat container? Tomcat container is a web container which provides the services to execute the servlets and JSPs. Means it provides executional environment, and it provides a lifecycle services to run your servlets and JSPs. Likewise, the OAJ container is same. It provides a lifecycle services for your bundles and executional environment, security, service registration, and lifecycle. What is a bundle? Bundle contains Java classes. Now we'll see what is OAJ bundle, each bundle, and what the life cycle of the OAJ bundle. Same like a servlet, same like OAJ bundle. For example, assume a servlet. What the servlet? Each servlet. You people are the. I think you are aware about Java, that is servlets and JSP. That's the reason I'm introducing one thing. Every servlet will have its own life cycle. Like loading the container. When you make a request to a servlet, first container checks the Tomcat container, whether the servlet is there, that class itself is there in the memory or not. If it is there, it will create the object for it. If it is not there, it will load. The class loader of the web container will load the servlet class into the memory, and it creates the object for it. Once the object is created, it calls the init method on it. Once init method is called by the web container, now the servlet is fully fledged servlet. Till the time it calls the init method, just it is a normal object. It is not a servlet. Once the execution of the init method is over, then that is a servlet, fully compliant servlet, which accepts the requests. Then after it calls the service method. Then after, based on the method, either get or post, it calls the do get or do post. These all things are taken care by the container, and each servlet has its own life cycle. Likewise here, container does its work. Apart from that, every OAJ bundle will have their own life cycle. This is the image. Image I prefer. This is the best image. Yeah. When you upload, for example, assume that you develop your OAJ bundle and you have a bundle in your hand. So what you do when you develop a bundle successfully, you will have to deploy that in a Felix console. That is OAJ container you have to deploy. For that, what you do, you will click on install or update. From here, you have option to select your OAJ bundle from your local file system. We have selected, we have uploaded successfully that, everything is fine, we uploaded it to the OAJ container. This is the start point, where you start. When you upload, the bundle enters into the installed mode. Just it is uploaded, that sense, it is uploaded into the OAJ container. It doesn't mean that all the classes are not having any errors, means every class is fine. It doesn't mean that no errors are there in bundle. Just it is uploaded. The time when you upload it into the CQ or else in Felix, just it isn't uploaded. Now the OAJ container compiles all of your classes and finds the errors and also finds the dependencies and also tries to resolve all the dependencies. For example, you have developed a login module. Login module means login OAJ bundle. In that OAJ bundle, you are consuming the Oracle JDBC driver. Means your bundle is dependent on OAJ, the Oracle JDBC driver bundle. First it checks whether that bundle, that ODBC driver bundle is available in container or not. Likewise, it checks the dependencies as well. Not only compiling your classes, it also checks all the dependencies are there in container or not. Likewise, it resolves all the dependencies. If everything is fine, it compiles. All the classes are successfully compiled. Then it moves into the resolved state. As and when it is in resolved state, automatically it enters into the starting. When you click on the start mode, this is the start. See, now it is in resolved mode. Now you can start your bundle on clicking on the start button. When you click the start button, automatically it enters into the starting mode. And then after from starting, automatically it moves to the active mode. See. Intermediate action, that is starting mode, you will not be able to see. Directly that moves into the active. It shows here active. If you are planning to stop, just click on the stop button. Stopping again, it will move to the resolved state. From here to starting mode, from starting to active. From active to, if you want to stop, just click on the stop. Again it moved back to the resolved state. From the resolved state, you want to remove it from the CQ server. So just uninstall it. Here the delete icon resembles that. On click of the delete icon, you are going to uninstall it. Means you are going to undeploy that bundle from the OAGA container. For example, this is the bundle Azure. For example, you are uninstalling and you are removing, means you are removing from the OAGA container. No more that bundle is there in OAGA container. Likewise, if you remove it, if you delete it, so that bundle no more will be available in OAGA container. That is the only uninstalling. Means when you uninstall it, that bundle is no more in CQ server. This arrows, this arrow marks, this flow diagram is self-explanatory. By looking at the arrows itself, you can understand. When you upload, it will be in install mode. From there, it will move to everything is successful. Means all dependencies are resolved and all the class files are compiled. Then it will move to the, when you click on start, it will move to active, from active to stopping if you want to stop, and resolve, from resolve to, if you want to uninstall, uninstall it. Means that is nothing but you are deleting from OAG container. From the resolved mode itself, without moving to active mode, you can delete it. For example, assume that just now I have uploaded this bundle. This, what is this? Abdera client. Just stopped it, delete it. Means just now uploaded, resolved, things are resolved. Without moving to active state, just delete it. It's your choice. If you don't want that to be deployed in a container, just delete it. I hope you understood. You guys have understood about this OAG bundle life cycle. This is the console where you deploy the OAG bundles. This console we call it as a Felix console. Where you deploy the OAG bundles? Felix console, very important. This concepts, this all OAG related stuff is very, very important. If you want to dig much, go to OAGA open source site, OAG framework, that is OAG org. This is the OAG organization. This is the open source. Who implements, means not implements, sorry, who provides a specification basically. This is a system who provides a specification for the OAGA. Not only the CQ, there are lots of other servers have implemented OAGA framework. OAGA, as I said the day before yesterday's session, OAGA is a powerful framework which enables to deploy the modules dynamically. Means management or managing your bundles is easy. And you can develop reusable, independent, dynamic, loosely coupled modules. See, these are all terminologies we can put in interview to grasp the interviewer's attention. Loosely coupled, dynamic, independent, reusable modules means reusable bundles you can develop with this architecture. How it is possible, already explained you. Now we'll go to the VGA Java web develop done. Widget bundles, yeah, Java content repository. Java content repository, JCR. Yes, you able to see my screen? This PPT slides? Yes, okay, good, that's good. JCR, Java content repository. Already explained the basic terminologies related to this repository, that is Java based repository. Every web application needs a backend system to store its application specific data. But the CMS systems will not have any backend DB by default. If you want, you can connect. I am saying not at all. I said that you can connect to DB, but by default there will not be any database in the backend. It comes with a content repository. Likewise, the web applications, they have a database as a backend. This content repositories, the CMS technologies will have content repositories as the backend storage. As we are aware, CQ is a completely Java JT compliant web application or a web framework. So obviously its content repository also is based on a Java API. So it provides a Java high-level API. By using that API, you can retrieve the content from the repository. You can modify the content in the repository. You can make a lot of variations on the repository using this API, using this Java API. So this high-level Java API provides a provision to you to work on the content repository. Now we will see each concept in JCR repository. This is content repository. This is the company. GTech is my company where I am working. GTech is nothing but IGT, International Gaming Technology. This session I have given a long back in April or some month. This is the date I given. The same PPT I'm going to explain you guys. What is JCR? Just now I explained you a content repository which works, which provides a high-level Java API. By using that API, you can work on a content repository. When to use the JCR? Very good question. When should I go for a DB and when should I go for a JCR? You are developing a CMS technology or some other technology. Now forget about CMS and the CQ5 and all the things. You are developing some new technology. For the backend storage, you have two options in your hand, that is database and content repository. Then when you prefer a content repository and when you prefer a database. The thing is, I think you may not be able to answer this question, but you can answer. You people are Java related people, so definitely I hope that you are aware about database. When do we go for a database? Can anyone tell? In which scenario we prefer the database? And when the database is best fit in storing the data? Can anyone pick the question? Whatever it is, either right or wrong, not a problem. Just okay. Larger values. And next. Any point from anyone? Not a problem. Whatever it is, either good or bad, either correct or wrong. Whatever it is, the answer is accepted. Anything from Shafiqal or Varinder? Grace? Lot of people.
Database we use to manage data, right? And RDMS, relational database management system, to definitely to manage data. And of course, so we use relational data, right? And it is just storing data, and it's easy to update and retrieve. But content repository, not only data, I'll say like or multi-dimensional data. So for what I understand from content repository.
Yeah, approaching. You are approaching somehow. Correct.
Yeah.
Fine. You are approaching, but may not be exact, but you are approaching. Correct. Varinder,
Yeah.
anything from your end?
So when we want to maintain records for ongoing uses, so then we're using database. So then
Good response actually. That's what I want. Whatever it is, whether it's correct or wrong, that's what we need to know. I may not be aware about all the things, right? I may learn from you as well also. That's the reason I want to listen from you. Good. Now I will explain the thing, whichever I have. The thing is, when you have the data that is mostly structured data, means not like a junk, like files or text or images or videos, like a Facebook. Facebook cannot use the database, exact database in the backend. Why? As a user, for example, we are all the users of the Facebook. Is there a guarantee that you will upload a structured data and the Facebook can make relations between your data? No, not at all. Whichever we like, we'll upload it. It will be tough to handle by the Facebook if it uses a relational database. And also, the columns may not be fixed, which are used by the social networks. For example, today, 100 features are there for a user in Facebook. Just in the next hour, Facebook may add a new feature that requires one more column. That is one column. Tomorrow, one more column. So, likewise, cannot alter the Facebook if goes for the completely exactly relational database. Facebook cannot alter the table, right? For each feature, you have to alter the table if you want to add a column. They'll go for the column-oriented database like Hadoop, HBase. I don't know whether you are about data or digging technologies like data mines. So they go for the column-oriented databases. When your data is structured, forget about that all the things, come to the relational database. When your data is proper and always you get a expected data, then it is better to, and also you can make a relation between the data. And you are expecting structured data. For example, you are storing user information. For example, you have Flipkart or something. You are creating user. You are providing a provision to create user account. So obviously you know that whether it is structured or not. Definitely it is structured. You may provide 20 fields, so you will get 20 fields of data. You can store it in a DB, and you can make even relations between the 20 fields. That is fine. for the relational database. And in certain cases, you may not aware that file system, for example, file system is also one storage feature, right? Every operating system will come up with a file system only as the backend storage system, storage mechanism, not DB. It doesn't have any DB, right? For example, Windows, it comes with a file system only. What file system can do? It is the best storage if you don't if you have unstructured data. And there is no guarantee how many nesteds will be there. Folder inside the folder, inside the folder, inside the folder. Likewise, you can keep on create the folders. And also you can store inside the folder whatever you want, either text or document or image or video, whatever it is, any kind of format which is not supported also, operating system will accept. For example, Adobe software is not installed, but still you can store Adobe.pdf files in your operating system. Either known format or unknown format, everything the file system will support. Then when you go for the JCR, now the question is when you go for these many options I have. I am developing a new technology, I have file system options, like a database structured data options are there. Then when you go for the JCR, JCR is best fit when you are planning to store structured and unstructured data. Like a nested, you want to store. Yes, that is possible in CQ. Means that is possible in content repository, that is Java content repository. Then you have structured, like a user data you want to store. Yes, that is possible. You can create one node, user node. Inside of that user node only, you can store all the user related data as a key value pairs. Yes, that is possible, even structured. And unstructured data you have. You don't know even format of the data also. Even still that we can store it. The thing when you have a structured and unstructured, both kind of data you are having in your hand, then go for the JCR. Here if you observe, now itself, I will show you guys. High level I will show. See, is it a file system feature or not? Apps is one folder. Inside of that folder you have another folder. Inside of that again one more folder. Again they are jar files. Even though it doesn't know the format, still it supports nodes, files. Inside of that files. We have user information. For example, assume that users. When you create a user, automatically user related stuff will be stored here. Obviously, admin is a user, one user. All admin related stuff you are storing as a key value pairs. Even you can make a parent-child relations and relationships between one node to another node. That all the stuff you can make in CQ. Not only not CQ, exactly, in CMS technologies. How JCR works? In a node-based architecture, it works. We'll see that in detail later. What is the specification? What is JCR 283? It's a specification. Crx versus Jackrabbit. Just a second. Okay, each slide is having, I forgot long back I explained, that's the reason. Each question will say. Now JCR I explained you, standard to access a content repository. It's an object based. See, everything will be treated as an object. That object will be treated as we consider it as a node. Apps is one node. Content is one node. DAM is one node. iGaming portal, this is one node. JCR content is one node. EN is one node. This kind. Everything will be treated as an object, that is node. In exact terminology of JCR, we call it as a node. A JCR is type of object database, tiler to store, search, retrieve hierarchical data. Very good term, hierarchical. Data is in the form of hierarchy or not? Hierarchical data means in a tree structured. I think you might be aware about data structures. This is a acyclic graph, not a cyclic graph. Acyclic graph. And tree of nodes. If it is a tree, definitely root must be there. This is the root. And these are all the branches. Every branch, this is one branch, definitely will have a child node, means leaf node. This is the leaf node in this branch. This is the branch path. App, CM, Solar Search, blah, 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 .jar / jcr : content. Every branch will have a leaf node. Does it have any specification to work on content repository? Yes, that is JSR 283 specification. This specification is implemented by the CQ people. After the implementation of this specification, we call it as a CRX, that is Content Repository Extreme. Every specification, not only this JSR 283, obviously a vendor independent specifications. For example, JRE. This is a specification provided by the Sun Microsystem. Now it is under Oracle. But the JRE can be implemented by IBM JRE is there. Microsoft JRE is there. Different JRE vendors have implemented their own specific JREs for their servers. IBM WebSphere is having their own JRE. Glassfish, different JRE. JBoss, different JRE. Likewise, JSR 283 is a JCR API that can be implemented by other content management systems, other content management technologies also. Here CQ implemented. CQ implementation, we are calling it as we are referring it as a CRX. Content-based repository. What is content-based repository? It is a hierarchical store with support for structured and unstructured content. Just now we discussed full text search. A text search is supported. Very, very important thing. This is full text search. We'll use one search component that is provided by the CQ, out of the box component. One terminology I would like to introduce you people, that is very important. You have to remember, later on I may ask. Always this you may find, you will encounter this word. This is nothing but in CQ, in specific to CQ. I am not aware about other CMS technologies. Here, out of the box. OOTB component, for example, means out of the box component. Out of the box component means that is provided by the CQ, means which comes by default with a CQ. Search component is there. Search component. We will see practically what is search component in CQ. The search component is OOTB component. We don't need to develop. This is provided from the CQ only. This is available in CQ server. That's the reason we call it as a OOTB. OOTB means out of the box, which is available in CQ. Come back to the session. Yes. Full text search. Versioning. Yes, you can versionize the content. You can version it. This versioning is useful because when you want to go back to the previous content, previous status, there's simply a previous status of the content, you can go. For example, you have home.html content page. Now you are planning to modify the home.html page. Before modifying, make a version and assign that version to that home.html. We'll see what is versioning practically. 1.0 I assigned it, I modified, and the current version is 1.1. After 1 or 2 days, I felt that I want to go back to the previous state of my home.html. I don't need to remember the changes which I made. Just simply select the previous version, that is 1.0, select OK. That's it. Automatically, we will go back to your previous state. That is the usage of the version. Transactions. It's a very powerful feature, transactions. In DB also these features are there. That's the reason support for structured and unstructured. We call it as structured and unstructured. This feature is from structured. Transactions. What is the transactions? What are the transactions are supported by the JCR? Asset properties. You might be aware about it. Atomicity, isolation, consistency, durability. You can Google it, but I'll explain briefly. For example, there is one node. There is one node, for example. Let me draw it. There is one node. This is, assume that this is home node. User 2 are there. Two users having permission. I am saying permission. Without a permission, user cannot access anything in a JCR repository. We'll see when we create a user practical, we'll see the permissions and how we will give the permissions to a user in a JCR repository. These two users is having access to the home.html, and also these two users are trying to modify at the same time this home.html. This home.html, this content node is sitting where? Basically where it is sitting? Inside a JCR repository. Means these two users are accessing JCR repository at the same time. So this node is visible to two users at the same time. The question is, two users are trying to modify the same node at a time. So what will happen? Now this JCR repository has to lock the node for a particular one user. When that user does his operation successfully and release the lock for the user 2 and let the user 2 modify it. Means when the user 2 is modifying, other users will not have any read permission, any write permission on this node. Read permissions users will have. Means read will not make any change to the node. This is consistency. Durability. Even though on multiple persistences, the node must be durable, right? And isolation. Node will not be isolated completely. Means it will not show the complete different results. Means complete a different page structure to both users. It should give the consistent results. Atomicity. Is one more asset property. This is DB features I should not introduce, but still I am introducing. You can read it on Google as well. And observations, very important observations. Very, very important observation. What is observation? Observation is nothing but keep listening to the JCR repository. Keep listening to the JCR repository. What is the requirement of listening this? For example, there are different. This I need to explain a lot because you may not get the data about this in the net much. For asset properties, you have a lot of data in the net. This is nodes in JCR repository. What is this bus? This is JCR repository. This is nodes. These are all the nodes. Means simply objects, as it is object database. Observation is nothing but keep observing the JCR repository. this whole repository or else specific to some node. Yeah. If some modification is happened, automatically trigger one event. If modification, for example, my observation is that when modification happens to this node, I want to trigger an event. Means, is it observation or not? Yes, we are observing to that node. Any modification is happened to that node, immediately I want to trigger an event. In that event may be a Java class as well. If it is a Java class and modification of that node, I can write some Java code, right, to perform some activity. So basically what you are getting, observation is nothing but a Java framework which keep listens to the Jcr repository on node modification or updation or deletion on creation. It keep listens to the Jcr repository. If anything happens, automatically you can assign an event. Means you can assign a Java class. So that Java class will be executed automatically to perform certain activity. When to use a Jcr? Yes, if it is a hierarchical. Means if it is unstructured. And flexibility. We have structured data and unstructured data. It is a flexible option. Right? If you have only structured, you can go for database. If you have only unstructured, file system. But if you both structured and unstructured. So the flexibility is it needs API. You need a high-level Java API. Go for the JCRs. Means we have high-level API in your hand. And abstraction, very important. Means directly you will not be able to see the nodes. This is abstracted. The complete repository is abstracted to API. Through API only you will modify everything. And if you still want queries, full text search, events just now I explained you. That event mechanism, that is observation. And locking. Locking comes, or locking to support transaction, that is I said atomicity. I don't know, just unmute guys, please unmute. Getting a lot of noise. It is complete disturbance for the people. Hello? Can you mute yourself? Who is that?
Hello.
Excuse me. Who is there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, able to hear. I don't know. We are getting disturbance. Who is this?
This is Imran, but I put it on mute. How come you hear me?
Not only me, everyone is hearing, right?
No.
It's recording the voice.
No, I have already muted my phone, so I'm just wondering how could anyone hear my voice?
Not yours. I'm not specified your name, right?
But yeah,
I'm just checking. So I would request everybody, please put your phones on the mute while Harinath present.
Yeah, we are getting roadside noise, that vehicles traveling noise. Yeah. Locking events means events is just now I explained you Java events. If something happens to the JCR repository, just I want to listen and I want to capture that event. I want to perform certain activity. When something happened, that event listeners we can capture. And locking, lock a particular node or a particular data item for a particular user. Versioning, just now I explained the observation. Access control. Access control is nothing but provide a particular access visibility to a particular user. Yes, that is possible. You created a new user in a JCR repository, and that user only is able or only is visible to a particular segment of nodes. As admin, you can do that activity. Transactions, just now I have seen. Just go through the asset properties in Google, and many other features are there. So, can we consider that is a DB? Not exactly, because if I say it is a DB, it should not support unstructured data, but still it is supporting. And there should not be any hierarchical data in database, like a tree structured format, but still it is supporting a tree structured format. Is it a file system? If it is a file system, there shouldn't be any parent-child relationship. But still parent-child relationship is there. We'll see practically when parent-child relationship will come. Even inheritance it supports. CQ supports inheritance, means the JCR supports inheritance. So we cannot say it is a file system exactly. Then what it is? A system which has adapted the best features of structured and unstructured storage of RDBMS and file system. Structured database means RDBMS, obviously. Unstructured, obviously it's a file system. So it has adapted the best features of both. The best features of RDBMS, like structured content, inheritance concept, that is referential integrity, transactions, and query. Yes, we can query the JCR repository. We'll see how to query a JCR repository. The simple queries I'll write in the next sessions. Yeah, we have a query browser here itself. I'll show you where the query browser. If you come to CRXDE console, tools, query. You have query browser itself here. SQL. What is SQL? Structured query language. Means it is a database feature or not? Obviously, it is a database feature. You can write here a queries. It will take a lot of time to query because all the nodes will be NT:base only. We'll execute a simple queries when we come to the query session. If I show itself now itself, you will not be able, but still. See, is it showing the result or not? Which is having sample. Only one node is there, right? Querying the JCR like, and if we try an entire, oh no, I cannot. It will take a lot of time if I go with entire content. See, is it querying the nodes or not? This is SQL based query or not? Like this, everything will be practical. These are the initial days. That's the reason server we have not installed it. That's the reason I'm not able to show you all these things. Like this, you can query the entire DB itself, entire JCR. This is node. And double clicking of the node, you will be taken to particular that node. And this path and this path both are same, right? Copy this, browser search. See, like this, you can query the repository also. Conventional file system. When come to conventional file system, you can lock a particular folder, right? We have lots of folder locking software. Access control. Particular folder you can restrict. Semi-structured, it's not a structured obviously. But hierarchical storage. Yes, it is a hierarchical storage. Best of both worlds. Just observe the diagram. You will come to know easily. The left side diagram, the left side shows database features like structured, query, transactions, integration. And file systems, hierarchies, hierarchical database, access control, and so on. But read and write is a common for every storage. Either it is a database or file system or anything, column-oriented database or any kind of storage system. Read and write must be there. So those are common in Venn diagram. And what are the extra features are there? Versioning, observation, sort order. Means sort order is, we'll see, based on date modified or last modification, last creation, you can sort the data. And multi-value, very, very important. Multi-valued data you can store. I will show you practically what is multi-valued. As it is my local system, let's consider this is one node. I am adding one property, that is sample, and I want to add multiple values for this sample, not single value. How come it is possible? You can click on a multiple and add it. Now you can add multiple values to the sample key. See, array of values you can add. This is what? Multi-valued. For a single key, you are able to store multiple values. This is what? Multi-valued. How JCR works? When you create something, how the things are getting stored in the backend. Just guys, remind me, this diagram, after the practical thing started, means after 3 or 4 sessions, I'll explain this diagram. When the things are in practical, then only you will understand this exactly. Now you will not be able to understand. When we create a nodes and page structure, things will store in a JCR repository. That time, if I explain you how the content or templates or pages or everything is stored in JCR repository, that time I will explain you this diagram. And what is JSR 283? It is a specification, right? This specification is implemented by the CQ people and they named it as a CRX. JCR and CRX both are same in CQ perspective. CRX is nothing but implementation of JCR API, that is JSR 283 specification. What is Jackrabbit? Jackrabbit is completely a fully open source Apache's product, means Apache's framework of JCR API specification. It's a specification basically. Then what is CRX? It is an implementation of Jackrabbit plus CQ5 additional features. Just now we have seen multi-valued. That is CQ specification, CQ feature, that is Jackrabbit plus CQ5 additional features. Then what are the additional features apart from CRX? Jcr is an open source, but CQ is a licensed. If they implement open source as it is, no one will buy that product. That is the reason they implemented, means they added extra features as well. Crx provides a repository browser as well as a number of administrative features that are not available in Jackrabbit. Means repository browser. What is repository browser? Isn't it a repository browser? This is a repository browser, completely a repository browser, where you can access your complete repository here. If you observe, this is your workspace, that is crx.default. This is repository. I'll explain you what is repository, what is workspace, what workspace contains. I'll explain now itself in the next slides. This is a repository browser, right? You are able to access entire repository as a node structure from the root to the end childs. And administrative console is also there to control entire Crx Explorer. Remember guys, Crx Explorer is a console where you get entire your CQ repository and where you can perform administrative access. Like directly, if you want to delete anything, you can delete directly. If you want to add any property, you can add a new property. You can clone the existing workspace and you can create a new mixins, edit the existing mixins. You can delete the node structure from here itself. Most of the times admin perform, or else admin will have access to this console, not all the users. Package manager, package share, and user administration, group administration, user administration. Yes, this is user administration. Passwords of the user. Directly you can change the passwords. As admin, assume that you have created a user. So you can change the passwords of that users from here. You can create, also you can create the new user from here. The same you can do from where? In the initial demo session, after the demo session, after the very first class, we have seen all the consoles. In that user admin console is there, right? From there also you can create the user. I'm not sure whether you remember or not. This is the user console, right? From where you can create the user. Tar persistent manager. The data storage happens in a tar format, .tar format. See, if you observe, tar format, .tar only. This all data is .tar only, from where you can extract. But you should not touch the low level data. I suggest you, no one will touch the low level data of the CQ. This entire repository, this is 6.1. That's the reason you are able to see like this. If you are using 5.6.1, anyway, you people will install 5.6.1 in your local. I'll guide you how to see your repository data in a tar format. TAR is optimized, widely accepted storage format. Most of the databases also in the backend, they store in TAR format only the data. Shared nothing clustering means clustering, how to cluster your JCR repository. If you are having 10 CQ instances, you have to connect all the JCR repositories, all the 10 JCR repositories together. LDAP integration for authentication mechanism. You can integrate LDAP with a JCR repository as well. Content package management, very, very important feature. This is very best feature which I like in a CQ. We'll see what is packaging. CRX comes with a commercial support. Means commercial product, right? JCR is an open source, but CRX is a commercial. That's the reason there is a support and additional features. Means if you face any issue, you can raise a ticket because you bought a product as a customer. You can raise a tickets as well. So additional features, the above additional features has been added because it's a commercial product. Very important features are content package management and repository browsers and administrative feature, that is administering your content repository through administrative console, easy console, from where you can control entire repository. This is Crx Explorer, just now I have shown you guys. From the root, it starts. What Crx contains? Crx in the high level is repository. A repository contains workspaces. It means one repository can have more than one workspace. Each workspace contains nodes. Just now we have seen that JCR column content, iGaming portal, likewise, those are the nodes. Each node will have properties. This is workspace boss. The workspace name is crx.default. This workspace contains what? Nodes. These are all the nodes. For example, I am selecting one node. That is root/content/iGaming portal/JCR column content. This node is containing properties or not? JCR column title is one property. The value of that property is iGaming portal. The type of that property is string type. These nodes and properties can be considered as items also in JCR's terminology. A content repository. A repository is composed of one or more persistent workspaces. That is, just now I have explained you, our repository is containing only one workspace. If you want, you can create your own workspace as well. I will show you simply by creating one workflow, one workspace, extra workspace. A single repository can have more than one workspace. What is repository? It is completely implementation of JCR specification. What is the example for the repository? Apache Jackrabbit is a repository. And what is the implementation for a repository? CRX is a complete, fully compliant implementation of the Apache Jackrabbit JCR API. What is workspace? Workspace is, just now I have shown you, more than one or more than one node. Each workspace will have definitely a root node. Initially I have told you one terminology. This is acyclic graph of tree. It is not a cyclic, acyclic. Each branch definitely will have a leaf node. A repository, as I said, more than one workspace it can have. Each workspace can have one or more nodes. Each repository contains its own tree of items. Each workspace. Each has only one and only root node, that is slash. It has started with here slash. This is the root node. Name of this default workspace is crx.default. If you want to have your custom workspace, you can create your custom workspace. That new workspace will come and will be visible in this drop down here. What is node? The actual item where the data will store. Node contains more than 0 or more than one property, and also it will have a children, but there is no guarantee that each node will have a children. For example, this is iGaming portal is one node. This is having Jcr colon content as node. But see, this Jcr content is not having any child node. Each node may have 0 or more properties. Just now we have seen. But every node will have only one parent. But root node will have a parent? No, because it is a root node. Each node will have only one primary type. Primary type is nothing but exactly one primary type. It represents the type of the node. Jcr colon primary type. NT colon unstructured. If you see Jcr colon primary type is CQ colon page. But each node will have only one primary type. Jcr colon primary type. A node can have many mixin types. What is a mixin? Which provides additional information to the node. Properties. Just now you can go through this. I'll share this PPT. This is by reading itself you can understand. Just now I explained everything of this property. Data types. Yes. What all the data types are there in Jcr repository? Means every node definitely will be a every property definitely will be a or else will belong to some data type. This is string data type. This is name type. This is date type. Likewise here, these are the data types which are supported by the CQ. Namespaces. Yes, namespaces. In general terminology, what is a namespace? Namespace is basically to avoid the naming conflicts. Namespace is nothing but it creates a space. In that space, you can have the things with the same name which are existing in another namespace as well. How to explain is this concept? Node 1 is there. Node 2 is there. This is having a child node that is Jcr colon. Okay. Jcr colon content. The Jcr colon content is having a property that colon primary type and this is one to having primary type. So the here namespace that is Jcr. Here we consider this Jcr as a namespace. Just remember that here before column the prefix is considered as a namespace. Under the node 1, Jcr colon content can have one primary type. The same primary type or else Jcr colon because this namespace, this naming spaces This naming space convention avoids the conflict. Here also you are having Jcr colon primary type. Here also you are having Jcr colon primary. These two nodes are peer nodes, means sitting in the same level. We'll see when we create a nodes, automatically you will get to know what the naming conflicts will come. And practically we see these two are peer nodes, means sitting in a same level, not in a parent level, not in a child level. In a same level these are sitting. At that time conflicts will come. I'll explain you. We'll get a node duplicate exception also if you having with the same property. It will eliminate naming conflicts as well. Works same like XML namespaces. Yes, XML namespaces. If you are aware about XML document preparation, if you are aware about XSLT and XML, so obviously you will find XML namespaces like you are having custom element like book colon title. The book colon title can be in many books of the XML, but still the parent node is different, so you will have a separate values. Even though book colon name is same in different books, but still due to the namespaces used, there won't be a conflict in XML as well. Paths. The node can be referred with a relative path or absolute path. Each workspace will have a root node. Relative paths are still supported. We'll see when we encounter a relative path in live. We'll see. I'll show you one thing. An example I'll show you. If you observe, this is contacts. This is complete path. This is fully absolute path. Means the path which starts with a / forward / that is considered as absolute. If you remove this, this can be a relative path. This is a relative path like this. The both paths are supported. Creating custom workspaces. We'll see how to create a custom workspace. The default workspace is crx.default. We'll create our custom workspace later in later sessions. Yes, we can still clone the existing workspace also. Cloning is nothing but copying. Copy the existing workspace and create the same copy. Yes, we can create it. That also we can create it here only. I will show you, but now I won't create it. In later session I will create it. No, you will not. This is not a practical class. See, clone the existing workspace. See. Like this you can clone it as well. One repository to another repository. Yes, you can clone complete set of nodes. Yes, Jcr query. Just now I have shown you. It supports XPath as well. Jcr observation. I told you. I explained you as well. On a persistent storage, you can perform observation. Means you can listen to the Jcr repository. Handle the event if something happened. If you listen to the repository, obviously you will handle the event if something happens on a repository. With respect to that event, you can perform certain activities in Java classes. Thank you guys. Thank you. This is one Jcr. I hope you understand extensively about Jcr. You won't find this much data. I did a lot of days, around 15 to 20 days I gathered, and I mitigated the information in a simple manner. I placed in the slides. Each slide is having only one line of piece, but it is a simple line and it gives vast data in a single line itself. You will get a vast data, vast meanings as well. Just go through this PPT if you are interested.
Yeah, can you provide us the PPT, please?
Yeah, I will provide it. I will share with the institute, which in turn they will share with you. I hope you are aware about Jcr. Most of the things we completed. Tomorrow we'll start installing the CQ5 server 5.6.1. I'll share this PPT and the server as well. Just download the server into your local. Tomorrow I'll explain how to start the CQ server and few theoretical concepts are there. Just I'll complete them. If they are completed successfully, then we'll start installing the CQ server also. This concept only I took this much time, boss. It's very, very important concept. If you go through this PDF, just 2 paragraphs will be there. This will not be sufficient. That's the reason I explained you elaborately. Guys, any doubts? Things are fine, right? Okay, all right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.